Marion Stokes was a librarian, activist, and former Communist Party USA member who spent 35 years, from 1979 to 2012, recording television broadcasts 24/7 across multiple channels, amassing an estimated 70,000 VHS and Betamax tapes. Her recordings captured everything from news broadcasts and political debates to commercials, cultural programming, and breaking events, creating one of the most extensive independent TV archives in history. She initially became interested in recording news broadcasts during the Iran hostage crisis in 1979, believing that media coverage was selective and often manipulated to shape public perception. What began as a personal project turned into an obsessive mission. She meticulously recorded as many channels as possible, including CNN, Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, C-SPAN, and local stations. Her tapes preserve not just major historical events like 9/11, the fall of the Berlin Wall, the Gulf War, and multiple presidential elections, but also subtle shifts in media bias, propaganda, and corporate influence over time. Though she was labeled a communist due to her past political affiliations, Stokes' work was not about promoting communism. Instead, she sought to document how both capitalist and communist media systems controlled narratives and influenced public opinion. Unlike authoritarian regimes that censor information, she preserved everything, ensuring an unaltered record of how stories evolved, how narratives were framed, and how public perception was shaped by repeated exposure to certain messages. It's also worth noting that in the US, the term communist is often used broadly, and sometimes as a smear, for anyone who critiques capitalism, corporate power, or government control. Stokes was deeply skeptical of both communist and capitalist media systems, recognizing flaws in how each manipulated information. Her relentless dedication to media archiving required enormous resources. She kept multiple VCRs running at all times in her home, collected thousands of tapes, and even hired assistants to help manage the recordings. She was so committed to the project that she structured her entire life around it, rarely leaving home and ensuring that recording machines were always running. After her death in 2012, her massive collection was donated to the Internet Archive, where efforts are underway to digitize the tapes and make them publicly accessible. Today, her work is recognized as an invaluable resource for historians, journalists, and researchers who want to study how media bias, corporate interests, and political agendas have shaped public consciousness over time.